Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to GS Score. This is Ajay Shah. So let's start the discussion of 10 MCQs, and today we are going to discuss MCQs from Economic Survey in India book. So this is the first question for you, and the first question says, in the context of recently launched Food Safety Mitra scheme, consider the following statements. The first statement says both Eat Right Jacket and Eat Right Jhola initiatives are launched to strengthen the food safety administration. This statement is correct. The second says the Eat Right jacket is a jacket that has a smart design to hold technological devices. This statement is also correct. The third says Eat Right Jhola is using reusable cloth bag to replace plastic bags. This statement is also correct. All the statement 1, 2 and 3 are correct. D is the correct answer. This question is self-explanatory. We'll move to the next question. And with reference to a strategic sale of PSUs in India, consider the following statement. The first is a strategic sale involves a sale of majority government share in PSU along with giving up managerial control of the firm. This statement is correct. The second says it will help in meeting the 3.3% fiscal deficit target set up for the financial year 2019-20. This statement is also correct. The third says Department of Investment and Public Asset Management (DIPM) under the Ministry of Commerce is the nodal department for disinvestment. This statement is wrong because DIPM is certainly the nodal department for disinvestment, but it is under Ministry of Finance, not under Ministry of Commerce. So only 1 and 2 are correct. A is the correct answer here. Now some validation. So why this was in news? Because the government has set up the target of raising 1.5 lakh crore rupees from disinvestment in the state and companies in the current fiscal year. In this context, recently Indian government approved a strategic sale in 5 PSUs, including Bharat Petroleum Corporation (BPCL), then Shipping Corporation of India, then power companies Tehri Hydro Development Corporation of India, then Northeastern Electric Power Corporation, and also logistic firm Kankur. Now this planned strategic sale will together account for 85% of disinvestment, and this will help in meeting up the fiscal deficit target of 3.3% set up for financial year 2019 to 25. Now when PSUs go for a strategic disinvestment, there are certain criteria like they must be in loss, then it might be operationally difficult for the government to continue with the PSUs, and DIPM and Niti Aayog will jointly identify PSUs for strategic disinvestment. That's all. So question number 3 says, consider the following statement regarding recent credit released by Modi Analytics for India. The first says it lowered back India's credit rating from Baa2 to Baa3 in 2019. This statement is wrong because it has not lowered India's rating but has changed its outlook from stable to negative. The second says it predicted a fiscal deficit of 3.7% of GDP as against the 3.3% set up for the current financial year. This statement is correct. Only 1 is the correct answer, so A will be the correct answer here. Now some validation. So why this was in news? Because Moody's Investor Service, which is a leading provider of credit ratings, research and risk analysis, has changed its outlook for India's sovereign rating from that is Baa2 from stable to negative, saying that the domestic economic downturn could be structural. Now the agency's action does not amount to a rating downgrade but comes as a caution against policy inaction. Now Moody's credit rating of Baa2 is the second lowest investment grade score, and it is better than those of other agencies such as S&P and Fitch, who have assigned the lowest investment grade to India with a stable outlook. That's all. Now question number 4 is with reference to Global Microscope for Financial Inclusion Report 2019, consider the following statements. The first is it is released by World Economic Forum along with INSEAD. This statement is wrong because it is released by Economic Intelligence Unit and not this World Economic Forum. The second says it measures financial inclusion enabling environment across 55 countries only. This statement is correct. The third says the 2000 report has ranked India among top nations with the most conducive environment for financial inclusion. This look a little tricky, but this is also correct. So both 2 and 3 are correct. So B will be the correct answer here. Now some validation. So what is this Global Microscope Report 2019? So the report is released by Economist Intelligence Unit, which is a British research and analysis division of the Economist Group. It measures financial inclusion via some parameters like in terms of allowing non-banks to issue e-money, then proportionate customer due diligence and effective consumer protection. Now the 2019 report has placed India among the top nations with most conducive environment for financial inclusion, which is quite a positive news. That's all. This question is regarding core investment companies in India. If you know the definition of core investment companies, you can easily solve this question. So let us see. The first statement says they cannot invest more than 50% of net assets in the form of equity, shares, bonds, debt, or loans in the group companies. This statement is wrong because they have at least 90% of their net assets as investment in the form of equity, shares, preference shares, then bonds, debentures, debt, or loans in the group companies. Second says they are not required to submit their statutory auditor's certificate to RBI in India. This statement is correct. Only second statement is correct. B will be the correct answer. And also validation. So core investment companies are non-banking financial companies holding not less than 90% of their net assets in form of investment in equity shares, preference shares, bonds, debenture, debts, or loans in the group companies. Now, further investment in equity shares in the group company constitute not less than 60% of its net asset. Now, why this was in news? Because with an objective to strengthen core investment companies, a working group formed by Reserve Bank of India recommended measures such as including periodical inspection of the companies and formation of broad level committees. The committee recommended that offsite returns may be designed by RBI and prescribed for CICs on the lines of other NBFCs. That's all. So this question is about a very famous term, Washington Consensus. So the first statement says it is a reform package promoted for crisis-wrecked developed countries. This statement is wrong because it is a reform package promoted for crisis-wrecked developing countries and not developed country. Now the second statement says these neoliberal economic prescriptions recommend structural reforms in exchange for immediate financial help. This statement is correct. So only 2 is the correct statement here. So B will be the correct answer. Now some validation. So what is this Washington Consensus? So this was a set of neoliberal economic prescriptions made by the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and US Treasury to developing countries that faced economic crisis. It recommended structural reforms that increased the role of market forces in exchange for immediate financial help. Now this term was coined by British economist John Williamson in 1989. While some said that Washington Consensus was used to impose harsh conditions that were helpful for economic recovery, others have argued that although it was not perfect, it was favorable to long-term economic growth in the developing economies. That's all. Consider the following statements regarding recently released report on clean industry. The first statement says it is prepared by task force led by FICCI. This statement is wrong and we have to choose incorrect statement here. Okay. Now the second statement says it recommended action plan for clean industry in Delhi NCR only. This statement is correct. The report recommended use of gas-based thermal power units. This statement is also correct. Since we have to choose the incorrect statement, so only one, that is option number A, will be the correct answer here. Now some validation. So this clean industry report on clean industry, it has been prepared by a task force led by both Niti Aayog and the Confederation of Indian Industry. Fine. Now Niti Aayog released the report on clean industry prepared by a task force led by both Niti Aayog and Confederation of Indian Industry, and the report identifies sources of industrial pollution in Delhi NCR and recommend action plan for clean industry. The task force considered 3 key air pollutants in Delhi, that is road or soil dust, then fly ash, and also secondary pollutants. That's all. We'll move to the next question. Now this question is a pure factual question. World Energy Outlook 2019 reports spans 3 alternative futures. Which of the following is not the part of the report? The first is stated policy scenario, then sustainable development scenario, then current policy scenario, and future program scenario. The correct answer is future program scenario, which is not the part of the report. So D will be the correct answer. It's a purely factual question. We'll move to the next question. Now this question says, consider the following statements regarding New Development Bank and National Investment and Infrastructure Fund Bank. The first statement says, New Development Bank was formerly known as BRICS Development Bank. This statement is correct. The second says, Government of India holds majority equity in NIIF. This statement is wrong because the Government of India holds 49% of equity in NIIF and rest held by foreign and domestic investors. The third says Abu Dhabi Investment Authority is the first institutional investors in NIIF's Masters Fund. This statement is correct. So only 1 and 3 are the correct answer. So B will be the correct answer here. Now some validation. So what is this New Development Bank? So New Development Bank was formed to support infrastructure and sustainable development efforts in BRICS and other underserved emerging economies for faster development through innovation and cutting edge technology. Now New Development Bank, earlier known as BRICS Development Bank, has committed $100 million to India's National Investment and Infrastructure Fund of funds. Now what is this NIIF, that is National Investment Infrastructure Fund? So NIIF is a professional fund manager anchored by Government of India along with participation from institutional investors. And they are collaborative investment platform focused on Indian infrastructure with best in the class governance and a strong team with Indian and international experience in infrastructure investing. That's all. Now this is the last question for you, and the last question is about with reference to Bharat Bond ETF, that is exchange traded fund. And the first says it is the first corporate bond ETF in India. This statement is correct. Second statement says this will increase the participation of retail investors in bond markets. This statement is also correct. The third says the bond ETF will be taxed as the different rates than debt mutual funds. This statement is wrong because the bond ETF will be taxed at the same rate and not different rate like debt mutual funds. So 1 and 2 are the correct answer. So A will be the correct answer here. Now some validation. So what is this Bharat Bond ETF? So it is a move aimed at strengthening the corporate bond market, reducing the cost of borrowing. The Cabinet Committees on Economic Affairs, which is chaired by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, approved the creation of Bharat Bond Exchange Traded Fund, and this will be India's first corporate bond issued by state-owned companies and to be traded on a stock market. Now, a basket of bonds issued by public sector companies or any other government organizations, Bharat Bond ETF will be tradable on the stock exchange. Now, this move will help public sector companies raise funds through debt instruments and further develop domestic capital markets, then boosting alternative source of funding for long firms, even as a series of corporate defaults keep banks and shadow lenders worry. Now, this will also increase the participation of retail investors who are currently not participating in the bond markets due to liquidity and accessibility constraints. That's all for today. I hope you liked the class. Please like and subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you very much.